way this series has gone in 2005, we could be reading you last week's script, or even last year's. The SRC won again in Binghamton, but Bubba was back, and once again, he found a way to tangle with Ricky Carmichael. First, it was a bump at Mount Morris that led to the crash landing at Unadilla, where a miscalculation put him on top of Carmichael. And last week, hitting the eject button in Binghamton while battling with RC. James Stewart has been trying hard to figure it out, but he'll have to wait until next year because he's out for the season. For RC, nothing has changed. He's only 5 points away from title number 9. The 250 AMA Motocross Championships hit the penultimate round next from Delmont, PA. If you came to see the best motocross racers in the world, well, you found the right place to be here on OLN for the AMA Motocross Championships by FMF. And, of course, this OLN telecast always presented by Parts Unlimited. You see the track. They're working it in, and it is a perfect track here at Delmont, Pennsylvania. Welcome, everyone, to the Monster Energy Kawasaki Steel City National from Delmont, round 11 of 12. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey. We'll hear from Aaron Bates in just a moment. But picture-perfect days. Hurricane Katrina barely missed this area. A lot of wetness to the east and north of us, but right here, perfect conditions.
This is my first trip to this track, Robbie, and I love this place. I wish I was racing today.
We take a look at the points, and Ricky Carmichael should clinch the championship here in Moto number 1. We'll see if that holds true. Hopefully, nothing unfortunate will happen for Carmichael because he has been the dominant rider. Kawasaki press release this week. Bubba no longer in the 250 Motocross Championship Series.
Yeah, last week's crash, you can see how hard he landed on his shoulder, and he's just going to lay out and get ready for the U.S. Open. John Dowd is here, though. Can't keep a good man down.
Yeah, check out mototalk.com of Moto News. I know you and I both read that a lot. Sponsoring the Junkyard Dog this week, but Ricky Carmichael going for that championship. Aaron has more.
It was back in 1996 when Ricky Carmichael made his outdoor national debut here at Steel City. Since then, he's competed in 107 races and won an astonishing 85 of those. Ricky, you're 5 points away to wrapping up your 9th title. After so many championships under your belt, what does this one mean to you?
Oh, it's special. Each one is special. They all have their own little meaning. Each one was different in their own way. And, you know, just got to make it through safe practice tomorrow and do the first moto and try to get another one. I think it'll be important for the team also.
Coming into the season, you were making a debut on a brand new bike. This bike was unproven. What's it like knowing that you're coming in here and showing the title on that bike?
Well, I think it says a lot for the team to, like you said, come into an event as big as this and our series and produce as well as they have. It says more for the team than it does for me. I've done it before, the bike hasn't. So really proud for Suzuki and happy for them to step up to the plate with the things that they've done this year.
You're seeing all those shots of Ricky in practice, just how fast he is. Every time he hits the track, he's the fastest rider by 2 or 3 seconds.
You can see when he started way back there in 96, he's only 25 years old. Another thing to mention, the $25,000 bonus to the winner of Mount Morris, Red Bud, and Steel City. Ricky Carmichael, the only guy that can do that. And if he comes out here the winner, an extra $25K, so it's a nice point kickback by Monster Energy. That Monster Energy drink, Triple Crown, they call it. And, he's the only guy that can do it, and I wouldn't count him out.
See all that dirt flying? They've added some extra sawdust to the track this year just to get it to be a little bit rougher. Fonseca dodging a downed rider in practice. And, you know, it's creating a few more lines, a little bit more cushion. It's holding the moisture better. And they've also left some of the bumps there from amateur days. This place is going to get rough, Robbie. And, you know, of course, Carmichael loves it like that. He's already 3 seconds faster than the field.
How about the surprise, though? Nick Way. I like that guy. I really think he should have had a factory ride if anybody should have. I've said it, and I'm sticking to my guns. He's second quickest. Hopefully he can do well out there today. But the second fastest guy on tour has been Kevin Windham. There's no question. He deserves everything he gets, the number 14 Honda.
Yeah, I mean, see, he's running out of chances to take a shot at Carmichael, and he's been fast here before and challenged Ricky. We'll see if he can do that again today. A couple little tweaks before the big tabletops. They took out the little chicane there, so it's not going to be quite as one line. And I've seen a lot of guys going all the way down that straightaway side by side. So we're going to see some good racing today. And like I said, more lines, a little rougher. Better for passing and in case somebody gets a bad start. But Carmichael just still dominating everybody. It looks like this is it's already over with after seeing what happened in practice.
As we take a look at the Honda starting grid, another rider to look for, Robbie Reynard. Reynard's very fast here at Steel City, riding the 250 class now. I look for him to be up near the front.
Yeah, he won here early in his career, and it looked like he was going to have the kind of career that Ricky had, and injuries really stopped his momentum.
Uphill start. There's Carmichael, number 4, in the middle of the field there.
Nick Way electing to go all the way to the inside. It's a gamble. He got pinched off a little bit, but he can tuck it around the inside. Come out pretty good. Who else?
Tuck it around
Carmichael.
20th place. But yeah, Carmichael gets the start. You talked about getting pinched off. He got shut down. Way that is. Look at Ernesto Fonseca. He's in a points battle for 3rd place overall with David Vuillemin, and Fonseca really wants 3rd. How much bonus do you think he has on the line if he gets the top 3?
I don't think he cares about that. He just wants the result right now. And I'm not seeing Kevin Windham, Robbie. He slipped past me or went down. I don't see him anywhere in the top. So the one rider that can really challenge Ricky, Kevin Windham, is down.
Maybe it's another Honda pilot. Ernesto Fonseca been fast a few weeks. Michael Byrne on the factory Kawasaki back in 3rd place. But there's Carmichael, and you can see this is the 250 Moto number 1, and the braking bumps are already big, even acceleration bumps going up that hill. Suzuki, Honda, Kawasaki, 1, 2, and 3.
See the body English Carmichael using coming out of that left sweeper and heading up the hill into those doubles right there. Just not sitting and not fully standing, just in a full isometric, all strength.
Did you just throw out isometric?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't really know what to call it, but you know, the kind of body English that allows him to keep that 450 pin and open up a gap and show Fonseca that, look, if you plan on staying with me, you're going to have to do this. And I don't think Ernesto wants to, and you can see the gap opening up already in just a half a lap. 2nd
place, Team Honda's Ernesto Fonseca out of Murrieta, California, originally from Costa Rica, former Costa Rican national champion, and he has really been coming on as of late. Several 3rd place finishes overall. As I mentioned, he's tied with David Vuillemin for 3rd.
This is the section I talked about where they opened it up just a little bit, a little pop-up jump into the sweeper, leads into the tabletop. And how about that start for Michael Byrne on the 250? Uphill and plowed dirt, so they've got those 250 KXs running strong, obviously.
Yeah, really the only 2 strokes that we see in the field each week are the Kawasaki's. There's Travis Preston just behind, rider number 70. Preston, for being a factory rider, the guy you really don't hear that much of. And a great guy, you know, he'd go out there and, you know, he'll make everybody laugh at an awards banquet, but he's consistently up there in the top 5, but really not, you know, really standing out.
Yeah, he's getting better and better, you know, and he doesn't really demand a lot of attention. Looks like a nice move on Michael Byrne. Byrne elected to go down low, figured that line was going to pay off, but just can't open the door on Preston like that early in the race. Preston getting a little bit faster with each race and more used to that 450. Probably feels that the pressure that Honda, they don't really put pressure on you, but they just work so hard to give you such a great motorcycle that you take yourself more serious. And it's the first time he's been injury-free for so long. There's Jonathan giving Ryan Hughes his signal, going by with dual silencers on his 450. And I want to point out, look at number 64 right there behind Byrne. That's Sean Collier with another fantastic start, a lot like Denver. And 1 lap in the books, and he hasn't lost contact with these factory guys. So like I talked about, Preston improving with each round, so is Collier.
Seen Preston, he's in a points battle with John Dowd, also Michael Byrne at 5th, 6th, 7th spot. Really starting to tighten up. Michael Byrne, the Australian transplant, Jeff Emming, God, how long ago was that? I mean, brought him over here to the U.S., had him on, you know, his team for a while. That folded, but he's been here ever since.
Yeah, looking good. You notice how wide those guys were going down that hill into the left-hander at the bottom, because the inside, the braking bumps were so big, they were like jumps, and it's actually advantageous to go clear around the outside, and it just invites somebody, hey, if you want to try to pass me on the inside, you're going to have to hit all that stuff, and no one's really willing to do it just yet. And now here we are talking about all these battles and these riders. Carmichael right there at the bottom of the screen going the other way, twice the size of the lead. He had the first lap, just stretching it out, no pressure really from behind. Kevin, I think, the only guy really able to do that, still no side of it.
Sean Collier, the number 64 you see in your picture every so often. The number 12, though, David Vuillemin, he's a factory rider, going to make a switch this next year, riding for the Buku team. So he goes from factory to, what is it? Would it be a privateer? It would be factory support. How would you quantify his sponsorship deal next year?
That's a good question. I don't know what they consider privateer anymore. I'm a little confused on that. But But I think it's going to be good equipment, but not quite like what he has right now.
How could it be?
Nothing can compare to what he's got. Those bell-bottom forks and all the suspension work they do, Chad Reed on the team, all the testing, the success they've had indoors. You know, David's been there a long time, and you know, he's going to have his work cut out, but it's also nice to have a change of scenery and change of motivation a little bit. And how about Rhino? Just out there going, hey, you know, I got to finish a couple rounds this season before I hang it up. For motocross, that is, and that bike is pretty much stock. FMF dual silencers on the back, and holding off a huge factory star.
Team ECC Suzuki up there. Ryan Hughes in 6th spot right now, but everybody's chasing Carmichael. Welcome back to Steel City Raceway for more AMA Motocross. It's the Monster Energy Kawasaki Steel City National, part of the Monster Energy Kawasaki Triple Crown of Motocross, where Ricky Carmichael is going to try and take home an extra $25,000 for sweeping the 3 rounds, and this is the 3rd and final stop. And speaking of sweeping, look at Ryan Hughes sweep that outside, just rail it. These on a privateer machine, Team ECC, Escondido Cycle Center hooking him up. And coming a little short on that uphill right there, but just how fast he is. I mean, he's beating factory stars right now. Byrne just in front of him, but he has Vuillemin behind him. And
Beautiful move. Now, hey,
was that goosebumps I see on your arm? That was pretty.
Almost. That just was a sheer strength, aggressive. I'm making this pass right now. I'm going to fall trying. And when you go off that jump, leads into that right hand off camera, you're going off that jump blind. You land in the braking bumps. Ryan's strong enough and determined enough to pull that off.
All right, David.
That's the corner where he and Doug Henry got together years ago, and they got up from that and got a little bit of a fight. Rhino making history again in that corner, passing Byrne with that was an aggressive pass, and he made it stick without having to make any contact.
I got another question for you on Rhino in a minute. I'm sure we'll see him again. We're seeing Vuillemin work on stepping on that tabletop right there and getting the inside line on Michael Byrne. They're both chasing Travis Preston right there and Ryan Hughes. But it looks like Vuillemin doesn't want to settle for position. Tries to take it over Byrne, and does he get it here? He's side by side. Getting by is going to be another story because they're going to be making a right-hand turn. Byrne has position. But now Vuillemin has position and takes over that 4th spot.
That's what I really like about that plateau section is the way they enter into it now without that little chicane. They're able to get in there side by side, and they've been side by side for, you know, all the way down that section, around the left, over the other tabletops before Vuillemin can finally put him away. I thought he had him in the left-hander after the tabletops, but Byrne did a good job to hang on and really make Vuillemin fight for it.
I want to reiterate, we have Ricky Carmichael so far out in front. Ernesto Fonseca in 2nd. Travis Preston now is in 3rd. I might have incorrectly said that a moment ago, but Preston looking really good. The factory Honda going downhill right there, taking a wide line, followed by Ryan Hughes, David Vuillemin, Michael Byrne. Freight train right there. 5 positions, and they're pretty tight.
If we could just get Ricky to stay home, a little swap there by Preston. Good job, good save.
If we could get Ricky to do what? Just slow down?
Just stay home or something, you know, then racing would actually be pretty good.
And not, you know, get the full sweep for the season. His 3rd time to do so, when most people thought, me included, that anyone would ever sweep an entire season as far as overall.
And this may not be a perfect season, but you know, he's looking at a 3rd potential season of winning every overall. And you know, you can look at it as that, well, you know, Chad's not here, James isn't here, and all that, but
Ricky is.
He beat these guys, you know, and he's got his foot on their throats, really. And you know, I think their absence has a little bit. There goes Ryan again, same corner, another pass. But you know, I think you got to give Ricky a lot of credit for beating these guys so bad that it just makes him go, you know what, this isn't coming together. Let me just go ahead and cut my losses and get ready for the U.S. Open. And you know, Ricky, I think during the week is actually doing a lot of testing for Supercross next year as well as the U.S. Open, and just shows up to these nationals and wins anyway.
And the Motocross of Nations, we're seeing an aggressive line by Vuillemin on the inside, just bonsaiing down that hill, and Vuillemin gets by Preston. Preston not backing down, so a double pass there. Both Ryan Hughes and David Vuillemin making a pass on this lap over Travis Preston. And we see Vuillemin riding aggressive, and now I really, oh, there he is, finally. I was going to say, Vuillemin's riding aggressive because he wants that 3rd place. He knows Fonseca's up there, but we get our first chance to see the 14. The Amsoil Chaparral Honda of Kevin Windham has worked his way into 7th.
Check out Sean Collier running with the factory stars, privateer, doing his own deal. His dad just helping him out, and got to hand it to him for keeping up with all these guys. Windham's going to blow through them, but Collier is staying strong so far.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's time for our Parts Unlimited flashback. The year was 1996. A very diminutive Ricky Carmichael, this time on the 125 class. David, this is where it all began. This is the coming out party for Ricky Carmichael.
Man, this is cool to see. There's a good trivia question. What was Ricky's first 3-digit pro number? Well, there you go right there. Look how small he looks. And not quite as fast as he looks now. I think he went, I'm not positive, I think he went like 16.6.
A top 10.
Top 10 overall. Yeah, it wasn't bad. The first moto, I think he was a little tight, nervous, all kinds of pressure and expectations. But he cleaned that up for the second moto and proved that he's going to be around for a while.
How could you not be nervous? I mean,
that number would get a lot smaller.
Yeah, he was the second coming of Jeff Ward with the size and all, and Ward, he led the way for a diminutive rider going out there. Now Ricky's grown a lot in not only years, but size and knowledge as well. Let's take a look at that race for third. Ryan Hughes held that position until just that moment. David Vuillemin takes it over. You got another thing coming if you think Rhino's going to back down.
And that was a bold move for Vuillemin to come down around the outside of Rhino.
Oh, he lost his rhythm right there.
Yeah,
that's a tough section.
That's what he was trying to do with Byrne, too, and it's good until that last double. And because he's trying to do all those doubles from the inside, it's really tough to jump that last one clean.
And you've seen Kevin Windham working his way up. Ricky Carmichael going for his 9th Motocross Championship.
Look at the difference. How fast he's going. I know he's on a 450 and all, but man, what a transformation from that flashback. And you know, Windham, I didn't see him go down
near last.
Neither did our cameras. He went down and somewhere right in the first couple of corners off the start, and to come from last, looks like he may be able to pick up second at the pace he's going. Rhino getting the back.
Squared it up as Windham. Windham goes to the inside. I know Vuillemin's a ways up there, but you're right. The pace he's going, I mean, he's darn near Carmichael's speeds. You see this? Rhino's still not wanting to back down, but you have to on that tabletop, or else it gets ugly because you can't face that next jump. It's not even an option.
Yeah, if you overjump it, it ruins the timing through there, and you got to hand it to Kevin, man. And what a ride from last place. But you know, even if he does come from last and finish all the way up into second place, you know, he's going to get a few pats on the back, but he's still going to have that look on his face, I would imagine, of like disappointment, going, man, you know, but I still lost. So Carmichael, he does everything he has to do to keep things alive. That kind of stuff just never seems to happen to him. And he's on his way to another title. This is all he needs, is to finish off this moto right here. He doesn't even need to win it. He just needs 5 points. It looks like he's going to get that no problem and keep his streak alive of never losing an outdoor title defense.
Plus 21. That's how many seconds he's ahead, in case you're not used to reading the lap boards out there.
Not that big of a lead today, actually.
Yeah, 21. Not that bad.
No, actually, you know, he checked out a lot more than that early on. Fonseca was really close to him.
How have your standards just changed? When you look at that thing and say 21, not that much of a lead today. That's crazy, David. Plus 21.
If he wanted, it could be 50 right now.
I agree, but I mean, how the times have changed when we look at 20 seconds as not being that big of a lead. Any type of race.
I think right now he's just going, let me do what's necessary.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Those guys fight it out behind me, and if he needs to go faster, there's a lot more under the hood.
Look at this race for second place between Ernesto Fonseca and David Vuillemin. They have Kevin Windham. I'm not even sure if they really know that yet. Vuillemin has Fonseca, who's been in that spot the whole race. That probably hurt Fonseca, wouldn't you say? Because Vuillemin was racing with someone.
Vuillemin getting a little bit sideways right there, a lapper in the line. I don't know if that messed up his concentration a little bit, but...
Oh, here comes Kevin. Now he knows he's there. And listen to the crowd cheering him on. They know he went down early on in that first lap. Now Windham jumps down and has position, or does he? And another
today, I like it.
And another thing on Kevin Windham's mind, or on our minds, is Kevin Windham just had to deal with Hurricane Katrina. His home state of Mississippi tore up Louisiana, that whole coast. Our thoughts go out to all the friends and family of everyone down there. But Kevin Windham is one of those people that had to deal with the hurricane.
Yeah, the remnants of that storm came all the way up through here. And they canceled the Thursday amateur day to preserve the track a little bit more. And, you know, there goes Kevin finally on the inside. And while we look at this beautiful day, a perfect track, some good racing, and a heck of an effort by Kevin Windham, while Carmichael looks to be wrapping up another championship, it all kind of seems immaterial, really, with what's going on south of here. And like like you said, you know, our hopes and prayers for things to be restored to somewhat normal as soon as possible. You know, we're thinking about those people. I've never seen anything quite like that. It's horrible, and I know that this crowd and these riders are doing a lot today to try to donate money and help those people out.
Tim Windham actually has somebody living in his house that moved out of there, and look at this race. Oh, what happened? You want some of me?
Wow. Yeah, I don't think Browning's too happy about that. Burroughs came in there, and those three riders got together. I don't think he meant to do that, and Browning's just going, hey, I don't play that.
Wild Willie
knocked me down. It wasn't necessary, and you don't see that very often, but kudos for our cameras to be back in the field and catch that.
They saw a race about to go down, throw down, and somebody was throwing down. Here's the race for second place. Now, Kevin Windham has worked his way all the way from last to darn near the lead. He's working on second place right now, and he gets by on the outside. They're two Hondas, but not necessarily teammates. Factory Honda 24 Ernesto Fonseca and the Napster Amsoil Honda of Kevin Windham takes over second.
That's where he made that pass. That's an off-camber corner down there that's really difficult to get stopped for, especially on the 450. White flag is out for Ricky, and he got down in there fast, laid it over, kept his balance, and blasted out of that corner. And I think he caught Ernesto. Ernesto probably felt like as fast as Kevin caught him, he was probably going to get past, and he did it a lot sooner than I thought it was going to happen.
Now Ernesto can't lose a position to David Vuillemin. They're tied in points for third, and as we take a look back at that race for third, they've been swapping back and forth, and each week, last week we saw 3-4-4-3 combos between the two. It looks like we're seeing the same thing again here. Vuillemin knows it. He's switching to a new team. I don't know if he's riding with as much incentive as Ernesto does. Ernesto doesn't have a ride as far as I know right now for next year.
Yeah, I think he does, and he's just not really allowed to say. There goes Vuillemin down the inside. Beautiful. As soon as Ernesto went wide around the corner up there, Vuillemin was close enough to take advantage. I kind of saw that coming, and Ernesto's usually good about that, covering his lines. He doesn't always, you know, have to fight that hard because he's in the proper line and makes everybody pass him in the hard way, which is how you're supposed to do it. But
arm pump for Ricky Carmichael.
He faded bad. Ernesto looked like he had second locked up. I can see Kevin catching him, but
not Vuillemin.
He'll be disappointed with himself after this because he had a big lead over those guys and let it slip away.
I think you're right. A little middle laps by Fonseca the last couple of laps. Ricky Carmichael's arm was up in the air because he knows not only did he win the Moto, he has won another championship. That makes it number 9. Fans sitting down now. That's because they're worn out for standing on their feet for so long here at the Monster Energy Kawasaki Steel City National. And Ricky Carmichael, you see the number 1. That number 4 of Carmichael, so prevalent on top of the podium. He takes his 9th Motocross Championship. As we take a look at the results, Suzuki results, and Suzuki on top. Very befitting, David.
You pretty much owe it all to Carmichael and DeCoster for putting together the team and the bike, and Ricky going out there and dominating like he always has.
DB12, though, he finished 3rd.
David Vuillemin having his work cut out for him. David, a man on a mission, a hard charge for you. Right now, coming into this race, you were tied for 3rd place with Ernesto. How important is it to you to extend your lead for the 3rd place overall?
Yeah, it's always good to be on the podium. You know, it'd be great to be 3rd in the championship. But, you know, I want to have fun on the track, and that's what I did. I did not get a great start, but caught up to 3rd, and I had a good battle with Kevin towards the end, and stayed with him. You know, it's a great day of racing, nice track, and nice weather, so it's good.
K-Dub there talking with another Southern boy. Carmichael going, man, this water was coming in. I couldn't do nothing about it. Talk to K-Dub.
Kevin Windham charging all the way from the back of the pack. Kevin, this start is a little bit different. It's an uphill start. A man of your stature, you've got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, no excuse. I should have got a better start than that. I was way back in the back, and everybody came together, and I went down, and you know, I found myself on the ground. I said, all right, well, here's the ride I've been waiting for. You know, I've been having a hard time staying with Ricky. I said, all right, well, you know, I got my work cut out for me in this race, and really wanted to get up here on the podium and to get second. And that Moto feels really, really good.
Ricky, here we are again, 1 year later, and we're handing the same number, not the same number 1 plate, the 2005 number 1 plate to Ricky Carmichael for doing a damn good job racing them 250. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The AMA is so proud of you.
Thank you very much. You know, it's been a great career, a great year. You know, you definitely got to give it up to Suzuki. You know, they came in here and they had to produce. I'm on a bike that's unproven, and I think I just proved it today. Thank you to AMA, all my sponsors. It's, you know, it hasn't set in. It's got a lot on my mind, and, you know, it's just a great thing happening here.
Okay, not only that, but you've also got a little bit of surprise, something that you're going to be giving away for the auction this evening.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this right here.
Yeah, I got this BBR right here that I'm giving. It's handmade, special, 110. Doing it for the auction for the Gulf Coast for Hurricane Katrina victims. It's something special, you know. I'm just glad that I'm fortunate enough to be somebody that's able to do this, and I'm looking for it to go for a lot of money. You know, anything helps, as you guys have heard. The whole Gulf Coast. It's really a shame, and you know, it definitely makes you realize don't sweat the small stuff.
Very well said, Ricky. Nobody does more to protect your right to ride than the American Motorcycles Association. Every racer on the track is an AMA member. How about you? Call 1-800-AMA-JOIN or visit AMADirectLink.com. The AMA, rights, riding, racing. Well, David, you can see, I mean, blue skies, puffy clouds, that's what you want to see. But are between the motos, I like this. Some extra points, some extra kickback. Monster Energy Kawasaki Triple Crown of Motocross. You hear about it, 25 grand goes to the winner of all 3 rounds. Scott Sepkovic of Crown Athlete Management tells us more.
We thought it'd be really cool to do a 3-race Triple Crown, and whoever swept that got some kind of a grand prize, which that prize is $25,000. And then also at each individual round, we wanted to give something to the privateers, which each of those will win $500, the top privateer, and a KLX 110, a Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki KLX 110. So both Kawasaki and Monster really stepped up, and I think this has been a great program, and it looks like Ricky Carmichael is the only one in the running right now, and looks pretty positive he's going to get it.
You know, the Monster Kawasaki program, they having the $25,000 to win the 3 races, it's good. That's what the sport needs, and a little more TV time would be good too. I think that's what those guys are begging for. That's what NASCAR's got, and that's what's going to generate it also. So, you know, it's a step in the right direction for sure.
I think Monster right now are looking at some other opportunities with some properties within our sport to next year make even a bigger impression of how serious they are about this sport, and just continuing what they've already done and just stepping it up as the game goes.
That seems like it'd be a good relationship. Ricky Carmichael and Monster. Ricky, the monster of this sport.
Oh, and he's already wearing green, huh? Yeah, and you got one in your hand.
Of course, I drink them every week. It's good to have their support.
Stay with us, Moto 2, when we come back. Welcome back to Steel City in Delmont, Pennsylvania. Moto number 2 about to get underway. First, let's go to Aaron Bates.
It looks promising that Ricky Carmichael's going to wrap up the Triple Crown here this afternoon. If you take a look at his pants, it's got Triple Crown on the bottom of it. If he takes this, it's a $25,000 bonus provided by Monster Energy Kawasaki. But if you remember back at the beginning of the year and all throughout the 2005 season, he's already sort of won the Triple Crown. He won the World title, the Supercross title, and today he won the Outdoor National title. We're going to see what ends up happening, but you want to take a look at this, the new number 1 on the back of his jersey.
Has to go with the gazillion dollars he already has, and I'm stoked, man. I like that Fox and Scott Taylor, Ricky decided to run that number 1. You know, I know he likes 4, but it's cool to see the number 1 every once in a while.
As we see our Honda starting grid, and also another, the quinceañera of Ricky Carmichael, 15, a big number. They're giving him 15 championships now with the World Supercross.
I'm still looking through my dictionary.
Quinceañera, 15. It's like a girl's coming out party. Well, Ricky's 15 championships now with the World Supercross Championships, all his regionals, you, David. Just trying to give you new words to work with, a little Spanish.
And you know, look at a surprise. Carmichael with the whole shot.
Huh, how did that happen? You know what? I don't think he normally gets, you know, the whole shot in both motos. I mean, he usually has to work by 1 or 2 guys, but he got it here, that uphill start working for him.
This time, Kevin Windham on 2 wheels for Ernesto once again with a great start. And, you know, Ricky does what he has to do every single time. He gets out there. If he needs to start, he gets to start. If he needs to make a pass quick, he makes it quick. He does everything he's supposed to do, and it seems easy, but let me tell you, it's not.
It ain't
These
easy.
guys all behind him are trying as hard as they can, and, you know, I think it's safe to say Kevin is full of talent, and, you know, he's not able to do it in either moto.
The battle for second right now, Ernesto Fonseca and David Vuillemin going for 3rd in the overall championship in the AMA Motocross Series. And right now, they are second and third on the course. Seat bounce right there, nice and smooth by Fonseca. You saw that last-minute pass by Vuillemin, waiting to that last lap to get by, and right now he didn't take near as long.
Nice move. I'm a little surprised that Ernesto went out that wide, but it's a lot smoother out there. But David's pretty crafty with his lines. That during that sight lap, he spotted where you could jump down the middle of that section, and sometimes the middle gets rough early in the day, and then people leave it alone and go to the edges, and then towards the end of the day, and here we are at the end of the day, the middle's good again, and Vuillemin just proved it.
Longer shadows out on the track. You're seeing flat track Willie on the outside, 14. Kevin Windham, K-Dub takes over third now. Fonseca drops back to fourth. I don't think Fonseca's going to back down. I really think he's going to try and get by Vuillemin. But really, the fastest guy other than Carmichael is Windham right now. But as fast as he was that first one, you would thought he would already been in second right now trying to work with Carmichael. He was going to beat him.
Yeah,
good start's one thing, but getting by Ricky is a whole other story. You even see Ricky hardly in the picture.
Yeah, there he is briefly, and if Kevin's going to do anything with him, he's going to have to get around Vuillemin immediately and try to turn at least the same lap as Carmichael, and he hasn't been able to do that. He was fast the first moto, but you know, Ricky didn't really have to try that much. He had a good lead and just cruised to his 9th straight championship. And he puts you away so quick. You know, once you lose contact, it messes with your mind a little bit, and you know, psychologically you're a little bit beaten. And he tries so hard to close the gap, and then you make a couple of mistakes, and then he opens up a bigger gap, and it just seems like a situation you can't really change unless you can start ahead of him.
And it's a mental game, too, as we look at that battle for second now with...
Saw Vuillemin, actually, Robbie, on the way in this morning, and he's with Erica's wife, his daughter Charlotte, and sorry, David, I forget the name of his other daughter, but they're in the back seat. And it's cool to see, you know, both Kevin and Vuillemin being fathers, showing up with their families, and being able to go out and race like this. You know, Carmichael's still got the edge on him, but these guys aren't fooling around out there. And you know, I know what it's like to be a father, and it takes a little bit away from your routine, and they're able to still go fast and feed the kids.
Yeah, and it is tough. A younger sport, you don't see that many fathers in the sport, but guys like John Dowd, I mean, there are several fathers out there, and the two you just mentioned, they're front runners. Vuillemin, also Kevin Windham, but a young man's sport. That leads me to question, you know, a lot of people think that the wives are the demise to the racing career, but that's not always the case. Carmichael's 25, he and Ursula, maybe, I wonder if they're having talks yet. You know, people are going, oh, that'll be the...
I think Ricky would like to have a family and have some kids. You know, I can see that happening. McGrath is going to be a father soon. His friend Victor Sheldon, jet ski racer, crossover champion, he's going to be a father soon. And
oh, no. Watch out. The youth of tomorrow is going to get uglier very soon. Ricky still leads this one. When we stepped away, Ricky Carmichael was out in front. Go figure. He's still out there, way out in front here at Steel City Raceway for the Monster Energy Kawasaki Steel City National. Part of that Monster Energy Kawasaki Triple Crown of Motocross. Ricky Carmichael, if he stays where he's at, is going to take home $25,000 extra on top of his bonus. But
see, Windham cross over that roost right there and just get showered. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
That hurt.
This race for second could be the race for first. Sometimes a bobble by Carmichael. We've seen it twice this year.
I love that line that Vuillemin's got it. Kevin just checked it out that time. He's going, yeah, you know what? That does look pretty good. He doesn't want to follow him through there. He's not going to pass if he's following, but Vuillemin lands in that soft stuff. See him look over at Carmichael, or Fonseca, rather, going the other way. He lands, and then he just kind of floats those few little ruts and braking bumps and makes a nice transition into the berm at the bottom. And I'm impressed, man. Kevin's fast. He's been
look at this. Look at that line.
The second fastest guy all year long. Oh, there he goes.
Look at that. Oh, the smooth line was faster.
Yep.
He went outside. He went, what? How much ground do you think he had to cover more? 80 feet?
Yeah, it's a little longer. I don't know if it's quite that much, but look at Vuillemin with a little bit of a little hint of a Bubba scrub right there to try to get him back all the way down the inside. See Windham glance over to his left, going, nah, I'm not going to let you have it. But I'm impressed with the fight that Vuillemin's putting up today. He's just starving for a podium, and he's got to stay in contact with Kevin and try to reel in Fonseca to get it.
And Fonseca's finished on the podium in that third spot. Washougal, also Millville, and Binghamton looking for his fourth podium in a row. Fonseca not too far behind. Yeah, but that is, he is so smooth. I mean, he's like, you always see certain guys you attribute smoothest. I mean, even Robbie Raynard. I think, you know, he rides so natural. Kevin Windham. I mean, how can you ride so smooth and yet go so fast, or is that why they can go so fast?
Well, I don't know that I was quite like Kevin, you know, but I was similar.
I'm so going to throw you under the bus right there. You know that's where I was going with this,
well,
because everybody said, you know, you were the original, I think, Kevin.
You know, I think where I fell short a little bit when I had to race against somebody like Hannah or Rick Johnson, who were more like Ricky and just, they were like, the heck was smooth. You got to be fast. And, you know, I got beat a lot of times being smooth like that. So I think if Kevin could somehow figure out a way to get a little bit ugly out there at times, then he'd have something for Ricky a little bit more often. But still, you know, whether he could beat him or not, I still love watching him. The way he ducked out of that berm early to run the right side down the hill. Just there's so many little subtleties that he and actually Vuillemin both do that it's really a joy to watch.
But it's almost one of those damned if I do, damned if I don't, you know, because Ricky, when he first started in 250s, even in 125s, we all said, hey, if he just calms down, he's going to win a lot of championships. You know what? He didn't really calm down, but he's won a lot of championships,
This
David.
sport is a sprint now. Look at that. Well, a little bit of hard landing. Goes around the braking bumps.
Good
Stays
sound.
out of the deep part. You know, even when he has a little bit of a blunder, I don't even know if you can call that.
Mistake.
You know, a tiny bit. He over-jumped it, but it still works out fine. Look at the line selection. Going from the middle berm, cutting out of it early, around those braking bumps down the inside. The kid does that. I guess I can call him a kid. He does everything.
He's a man
right.
now. He's 25 years old. We've seen him since.
Yeah, but I'm old.
that flashback in '96. You're right. You are old.
He picks really good lines, you know, and I think, you know, sometimes when you watch Stewart when he was out there, it seems like he's going a lot faster, but the line selection and, you know, the way that Ricky goes fast, it's not quite as impressive, but it's a lot more efficient so far.
Looky here. Ernesto Fonseca is not wanting to back down. He sees Vuillemin. He's trying to return the favor from that first moto, maybe get by DB12 here on the waning laps of moto number 2. He's in 4th, looking for 3rd. If he finishes 3rd, it'll give him another podium. He'll get 3rd overall.
Well, he got the better of Vuillemin back at Millville in a late moto fight, and you know, I'm thinking back to Supercross. I guess it was a couple of years ago where that podium spot was up for grabs behind Ricky and Chad, and Ernesto got it. 6 podiums in a row, and he's got 3 in a row right now. He's going to fight for this.
He's trying for 8 out of 11 races. He's been a top 5 finish, but look at that. Vuillemin not backing down. Fonseca made the pass. This is going to be a dogfight. And if it comes down to Glen Helen, I don't know who the favorite is. They both ride there. California, they both have ridden there. I'd have to give the edge to Fonseca. I think he looks like he wants it just a little bit more right now. Carmichael leads Windham, and this battle for 3rd still rages on. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey. We are at Steel City, just outside of Pittsburgh, PA. Great attendance and a very fast rider in the name of Ricky Carmichael, who is out in front trying to sweep the weekend here, as he's done so many times. Another motocross national overall would be his 11th and 11 tries if he can hold on to position.
Lapping Sean Hamlin. Look at the way he blasts out of those berms. Just even when he's cruising around, I know I've said this a million times, but I mean,
can't go that fast.
He cruises around, he's going so fast, and it changing his lines up a little bit down that straightaway way back there, and it seems like wherever he wants to go on the racetrack, he goes, and it works. And Fonseca finally put Vuillemin away. I don't know if Vuillemin, he had a little problem or something or whatever, but Fonseca did what he had to do. He definitely got aggressive, and Vuillemin looks like he just said, well, I can't keep up with that anymore. So
the Honda team saying hooray for Ernie right now, because you didn't see the Yamaha in the picture. I said, you know, anything can happen. I didn't want to wish ill fortune on to Ricky Carmichael, but we saw both Windham and Reed. They both, you know, have to give them props. They won 2 motos this year and beat Carmichael. They're the only guys to do so. But, you know, one time he got landed on. The other time he did do the face hugger. There's K-Dub.
That's the gap.
He won at Unadilla, moto number 1, when Carmichael and James Stewart got into it. And you don't see the number 1 number plates on Carmichael's number 4 Suzuki. He only did it that one time last year, that farewell to Honda, but he has the number 1 on his back, David. That means so much to Suzuki. You talked about how, you know, you got to give credit to DeCoster and Carmichael, but I think Mel Harris probably had to sign the check to get him there too. But you shouldn't have had to have convinced too many people, I wouldn't think, to do so.
No, that was a big check they had to write, but now look, you know, Suzuki is looking really good, and you know, everybody over there seems to be in a little bit better mood, working a little bit harder, and you know, when you work really hard and you don't get results, after a while it just kind of wears you down, and mistakes are made, and the morale goes down, and the results suffer. But Carmichael he lifted Suzuki up out of the funk, and here we go again, another possible perfect season in terms of overalls, a wheelie up the hill, a perfect day.
And the checkered flag, another moto victory for the Fox Racing, Oakley, Suzuki, and bringing in outside sponsors in Makita this year. And congratulations to all of his sponsors. Thumbs up to the crowd. And let's take a look at our Honda highlight. We're going to look at the Honda pilot number 14, Kevin Windham.
This is his slice through the pack in Moto 1, lap to second around the outside of Rhino. A little off balance there and made it easier for Kevin. Here he is down the inside of Fonseca, same corner, makes that move work. Kevin Windham on fire in the first Moto.
That's your Honda highlight. Kevin Windham show you how to get it done both inside and outside. He was fast and good enough for second place and second overall. Let's take a look at our Suzuki results. Carmichael, Windham, Fonseca, with Vuillemin dropping back to fourth. Hughes, 5.5 moto scores. Good job by him. But Junkyard Dog John Dowd, the Moto Todd guy, good sponsorship and good results. Yep, and
I mentioned Sean Collier riding well in that first Moto, 8th in the first Moto, 10th in that Moto, so keeping his streak alive of top 10.
Let's go down to our podium and Ernie.
It was a good day. I mean, I was a little upset after the first Moto. I had a great start, and, you know, I was a little bit further ahead than those guys, quite a bit, actually, and just, you know, I mean, I don't know. They were just faster than me. They had better momentum. They caught up to me. They passed me. I tried to give a little more effort at the end and try to get back to those guys, but just made mistakes and just didn't really work out, and I was just kind of frustrated after the first Moto, but I'm glad things kind of worked out at the end, and got a third overall again.
And we look at the overall results. Fonseca and Vuillemin swap, you know, podium spots first and second Moto, and that means they'll be tied going into Glen Helen. Kevin Windham in second. That means he wrapped up, I believe, second place overall for this series. We hear from him.
Kevin, Moto number 2, a much better start for you. We checked around, we did the math. It's been since 7 races ago that you've taken a second place overall finish each weekend. How excited are you for this season to be over and finish with 1 race left?
Well, I'm excited. You know, it feels good to be second. You know, I wish James and Chad were out here. I wish they wouldn't have got hurt, and I wish we could get up there and race with Ricky. But second's not bad. And you know, it's not over for us. We keep going. We got the MGM coming up. Of course, we got you know, France and the nations coming up.
And we look at the points for the championship. Carmichael, Windham, and there's that tie for third. But look, Preston, Dowd, Byrne, they're close in there. Chad Reed been out of the series, but he still holds on to the top 10. Let's go down to RC, the champ.
Even though he already clinched the title, Ricky, how important is it to you now that you've got the title out of the way, the championship is all set? How important is it to you finish off another perfect season next weekend?
It'd be awesome, you know. Really like to race the 125 class, but don't think I'm going to get the support from the team. You know, they already got 2 125 guys, and like I said, they're a 125 and 250 team, and try to keep the flag flying in the 250 class. It was a great weekend. I got great starts and did what I needed to do, and I think that's the first time I've gotten both hole shots pretty much all year, so super pumped.
Hey, we mentioned it before, you already sort of won your own Triple Crown, you won the World title, you won the Supercross title, now the outdoor title in 05, but not only that, you're taking the Monster Energy Kawasaki Triple Crown this weekend. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I think it's pretty cool. I think I'm going to put it to a good cause, you know, with the scenarios going down from the Katrina victims, but I'm happy. You know, it's an awesome fun that they did, and it's fun too. You got something to go for.
Hey, 1 more race left to go. Any celebrating from this point on, or are you still sticking to your same training regimen and get through next week?
Gonna take a little break here, relax, but also at the same time get ready for France. Really looking forward to that. We've got to go there, and we got to win. And that's what we're going to do, and I'm looking forward to it.
We look forward to it as well. Great job today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations, Ricky. You know, the AMA NPG Hurricane Relief Auction went on just a moment ago. I mean, they raised a lot of money, 49 grand worth of stuff, a lot of donations from industry, riders. AMA kicked an extra 5,000 in.
Right there.
Look at that, a McGrath jersey. I mean, a great thing. Also, you know, they had a little bidding for the Ricky Carmichael factory BBR replica there. The 2 well-known names going head-to-head.
Yep, Ken Block, DC Shoes, and Cernick. And that thing went for like 16 grand, so hats off to Ricky for kind of leading the way there and having that trickle-down effect and raising so much money to help those poor people down there.
Almost $50,000 donated to the Hurricane Relief Fund. On behalf of David Bailey and Aaron Bates, I'm Robbie Floyd. We'll see you at the final stop in Glen Helen next week.